The story of Simba in The Lion King is really heartbreaking. Although things worked out well for him in the end, what he went through was a lot more than most could handle. Let's dig deeper into this part of his character and the journey that shaped him. Simba was the son of Mufasa, the king of the Pride Lands. He looked up to his dad a lot and dreamed of growing up to be just like him.
Dad? We're pals, right?
Right.
And we'll always be together, right?
At the beginning, everything in his life seemed perfect. He was innocent, carefree, and truly happy. But then, his whole world turned upside down one day. He saw his father sacrifice his own life just to save him. It was a moment full of bravery and love, but it ended with the most tragic scene. He witnessed his dad's death.
Long live the king.
What made it even harder was that at first, he didn't understand that his father was really gone. As that reality sank in, so did a deep sadness. To make things worse, it was his own uncle Scar who had planned everything. Scar was responsible for Mufasa's death, but instead of being honest, he shifted all the blame onto Simba.
No one ever means for these things to happen. But the king is dead. And if it weren't for you, he'd still be alive. What will your mother think?
What am I gonna do?
Run away, Simba. Run. Run away and never return.
And Simba, just a little cub, couldn't understand any of it. He didn't even realize what trauma was, but it shaped most of his story from then on. Feeling guilty and terrified, he ran away from everything he ever knew, his home, his mother, and the family he loved. He believed wrongly that his dad died because of him. That feeling, carrying the thought that he somehow caused his father's death at such a young age, was a heavy burden no one should have had to bear. After leaving it all behind, everything changed again when he met Timon and Pumbaa. After he joined them, he completely forgot about his royal responsibilities. They introduced him to a carefree philosophy called Hakuna Matata, which means no worries. Embracing that saying was Simba's way of dealing with the pain. It was his escape from the past, the memories, the guilt, and the grief. He lived most of his life far away from his home, his family, and the responsibilities he once had to carry. At some point, he had to face his past, no matter how much he tried to avoid it. That moment finally came when Nala, his childhood best friend, tracked him down and begged him to come back home.
Simba, he let the hyenas take over the Pride Lands.
What?
Everything's destroyed. There's no food, no water. Simba, if you don't do something soon, everyone will starve.
She told him everything was falling apart and the Pride Lands were in desperate need of help. This was the turning point where Simba's real struggle began. On one hand, he had built a life far away from all the pain, far from the responsibilities he didn't want to carry anymore. He was happy living without worries, free from the weight of his past. But on the other hand, his home was in ruins. Scar had taken over, causing suffering and destruction everywhere. Everyone he cared about was hurting, and only Simba had the chance to make things right. That truth sank in hard. To fix everything, Simba had to confront what he had been running from his entire life. Even after all those years, he was still scared, still haunted by the guilt and fear that had driven him to run away in the first place. The moment where he sees his father's ghost and hears his voice telling him to remember who he is incredibly powerful.
Remember who you are. You are my son, and the one true king. Remember who you are.
It's not just a simple reminder, but a call to courage that shakes Simba to his core. That memory and message give him the strength to stop running, to face those fears head-on, and to accept the responsibility he once abandoned. This is what makes Simba's story so compelling. His struggle isn't just about reclaiming a throne, it's about overcoming fear, guilt, and self-doubt. It's about stepping up even when you're afraid, even when the past feels like too much to handle. And in the end, he completely changes everything in the Pride Lands.
I did it so they can hear you.
I killed Mufasa.
He fights Scar, defeats him, and takes his place as the rightful king. By doing that, he transforms the land back to its former glory and keeps the circle of life moving forward. His story is deeply tragic because of all the pain and loss he endured, but his redemption is incredibly inspiring. It shows how even when we feel lost or broken, there is always a chance to rise, to make things right, and to find our true purpose.